Hey guys, welcome to today's video. We're gonna talk some serious smack about products that didn't work through 2025. These are the worst. These are the products that betrayed me, gave me bad makeup days, itchy face, bad hair, bad skin, just all the dish that you want to know about products that did not hit. These are high end. I had so many failures this year that I also did a worst drugstore. I almost never do that, but I tested a lot of products in 2025, so let's get to business. Coming in not so hot in possibly our top spot, because this literally was the most confusing launch ever to me. I am still bewildered. It feels drugstore. It feels Claire's. It feels I'm being offensive. I'm being offensive, but this is just not worth the money. You don't even get a mirror in here. What is this plastic fantastic nightmare? You have creams in here that do not want to blend. They're firm, they're weird. You have metallics in here that are so crunchy. It just feels very cheap through and through, and this is not drugstore pricing. So sorry to go so hard on Urban Decay, but this was an absolute miss. Really, these are in no particular order. Makeup by Mario. I tried a ton of makeup from Makeup by Mario that I loved so much over the past year. However, this mascara is one that utterly betrayed me, clumped my lashes, was so flaky, like got everywhere. I have not had an encounter with a mascara like this in a very long time, and I am picky with mascara. I am a mascara connoisseur. I try at least, no exaggeration, 100 different mascaras every year. I've been testing product for 15 years, so I feel like I know a thing or two about product and performance. Those are my credentials. I want the kind of lashes that you can see, that frame the eye, but somehow are voluminous and wispy at the same time. So if you're going to clump all of my lashes together, I want nothing to do with you. If you're going to smear all over my face and flake, I want nothing to do with you. We will have the favorites of the year coming soon, so you'll get to see all of the good as well. This one from Tarte, their tubing mascara, absolutely no. This one literally makes you look like you have 4 lashes all stuck together. The way it tubes is way too aggressive, in my opinion. If you like these products that I don't like, you do you. This is just my own personal roundup of what didn't work over the past year. I swear to God, this has been reformulated. I used to use this mask all of the time. Drunk Elephant had its moment and then it kind of vanished. We were all about it for a second and then not. It kind of flatlined. What happened? This is the TLC Baby Facial Mask. This has 25%, which is a punch of AHAs, 2% BHA. I used to use this all the time, and I've repurchased this probably 10 times over. I used this year, and I did it 2 times in a row, where it just started making a lot of weird redness around my nose. Like, it got more aggressive somehow. I don't know if they changed the formula. Maybe it's just that my skin changed, but I'm a little more gentle with my AHAs and BHAs these days, and I think this one is just way too harsh. I will not be repurchasing. We are broken up. I love K18. I love the leave-in treatment that gives you a similar effect of a keratin treatment. Very expensive, but it works. And when something works in a line, I tend to buy everything because I'm just like, well, if you worked, the rest of the family must. So I spent some hard cash exploring K18 over the past year, and these two just did not meet the cut. They do not compete with the other things that I have going in my everyday hair care situation. The K18 Astrolift Reparative Volume Spray does not volumize. This does not volumize. You can drench the scalp, you can tip your head upside down, you can do a round brush, you can do all the things. It gives you such minimal lift. I do not like this at all, not worth the money. The K18 Air Wash. If you're blonde, this might really be fantastic for you, but I'm gonna go ahead and say that my tip of taking my cellar water designated for oily skin in a spray jar, like so, label it, keep it in the bathroom, you spray that on your greasy roots, you take a hairdryer and spot dry, you're gonna have a better effect than this expensive air wash right here with no powder residue. The issue with this is not that it doesn't clean the scalp, clean the hair, it's that it leaves a powder residue that is noticeable that you might not notice at first, and then halfway through your day, you're going, and it looks like you have dandruff. So like, we don't want that. The stinkiest lip mask. I love Laneige. I love their overnight lip treatments. I wear them more for daytime than overnight repair because I actually, to be honest, do not think they do a great job of repairing the lips compared to other OneSkin, Augustinus Badir, like other really aggressive skincare overnight treatments. But it feels nice, it looks good, it's plushy. This particular scent was so gag me gross. I feel like I'm walking into a barn. What were they thinking with this taro bubble tea? Why does it smell like horse's hay and grapes? That's not the vibe that I want for my lips. So this one was the worst flavor launch, in my opinion, from Laneige in 2025. Coming in at the last minute to ruin my makeup is Gucci. Let's talk about the too much money that I spent on this mattifying powder that was highly rated that I don't agree with. For one, it clings. For two, crunchy bunchy, exaggerate everything on my face that I don't want to exaggerate. It smells like an expired Gucci fragrance from 1995. Can we tell I have beef with this? Like, I don't know why this is the one product that really aggravated me. Actually, no, I do know why. I was halfway through a makeup day filming. Everything was looking perfect. I put this on and it was all downhill from there. You know, another powder that really aggravated me to my soul, MAC. The reformulation, just why? Just don't even make it anymore. Like yeah, and same with Givenchy. That was just an utter fail. Let's talk about that one more time. What happened after that loose powder cancellation? Are we curious? I am. Anyway, I digress. We haven't talked about this one at all. So I tried this when I did my full face of MAC video. I didn't get to use it on camera. I was like, I don't know, like this is MAC Studio Fix, like such an iconic product, but this is the one reformulated without talc. I bet I don't like it. And I bet correctly. It's nothing like the original. So many of you guys pressured me into purchasing this one from Il Maquillage. Now, I did a survey through the women in my own family because my mom has this and my sister Erica has this. Erica hates it and thinks it's weird. My mom really, really likes it. So I was like, which way do I go? I'm just gonna order it. It was expensive, but I ordered it. And I think Tarte is so much better. This texture, like what you see ooh and ah online with people like smearing this on their forehead. I'm just gonna show you like how it pills. Right, if you can see that. It's so pilly and thick. Good luck applying any makeup on top of this. When you see someone like erase their wrinkles and they're doing like a side by side, they're not wearing any makeup on top of this. So like if you don't wear makeup, maybe you like it. Maybe it does really just give you that intense velvet blur, but if you're gonna do any movement on the face with a brush, your hands, a sponge, you're gonna run into problems pretty quickly. I would stick with Tarte. I would stick with the Impossible Primer that is silicone free from Wet n Wild. That does a great job of getting into every nook and cranny and smoothing you out. This one was just, no. Givenchy, we're beating you up some more just for a moment. I'm so sorry. I spent my own money on this thinking it would give me like a nice bronze, and it just doesn't really do much. Like I just picked up quite a bit. Can we barely even see it? A whisper of nothing. And for me, I want more. For me, I need like this. I need a little Dior moment where also you're getting a huge pan size, but do you see, you can even see it on my fingertip right here. You're getting actual pigmentation. This is more like a bronzing finishing powder, and to spend like over $50 on that, I'm just uninterested. Summer Fridays, the most vinily, greasy, gloppy blush that everyone but me loves. I don't like this. I wanted to like it, but I feel like I'm putting Laneige Overnight Sleeping Mask on my face. What are we doing? I mean, I guess this is for like the clean girl era where you are just wearing the blush and you are sweaty and embracing it because you have perfect glass skin. If that is your lane, then you probably love this. But I'm just not into feeling like I'm putting actual lip gloss on my face. YSL, $85 down the drain. A lot of you guys were like, well, but the blushes are so good. You should just enjoy it for the blushes and everything. And like they are, I guess. But the whole thing feels off to me. I'm kind of disturbed by the highlighters. They're not the same as the singles. I said what I said. Like, I feel like they are not the same as the singles. They are thick, they are chunky, They have weird different shapes of the micro glitter where you're actually seeing specks of glitter on the face. I just feel like for the price tag, this was such a miss. It is very pretty, but $85 for this is so not worth it, especially when there are so many other options out there that are way better. Laneige, the messiest powder of life. One more time, just cause we're here, are we ready? Look, I'll barely press in here. My lungs hate this. And what it does to the skin barely smooths you out. This is the kind of mesh covering that we need where stuff is not flouncing out of it and getting everywhere through the neck covering. This right here, I can go like here and it's not pushing out. So I can take my velour puff. It's gonna coat the correct amount. This is a brightening, thinly milled, loose powder that is nothing but magic on the face. Not as expensive, better product. So this one was just, no. Oh, Peter Thomas Roth. I love you, I hate you. I love what you have done for my under eyes with this right here. Holy smokes, the new formulation with color in it. This is the Instant Firm IX Temporary Eye Tightener. This will completely smooth you out underneath your eye. If you have hooded eyes and you want to kind of give a little like that, it will do that. The dry down, if you use too much, you will still see a little bit of that white powderiness, but you can kind of dust it off without it being too much of an issue. You just want to go in with the most modest amount and this can work wonders. Now, because I'm crazy and anything that says Instant Firm from Peter Thomas Roth, I always want to try. I tried the Glow Filter Priming Serum. I hated this. It didn't do anything. It didn't do anything. It was glowy, it was greasy, it didn't firm. I didn't like it. From Refi, this is a little lip liner, like a long wear lip liner with this balm on the other side that has kind of this hard plastic tip applicator. This crumbles on my lips in the weirdest way. And the sensation of that balm that seals you in to make it like a liquid lip is so dang uncomfortable. All you're thinking about all day long is like, wow, I can feel my lips. And it feels dry and it starts to kind of ball and pill. And I just could not get down with this product. Another one that is newer that a lot of people really hyped up and loved is Mary Phillips. These face palettes, so many people enjoy them. If they work for you, I love it for you. For me, this broke me out. There's something in here that is a little too emollient that especially, which my favorite area to sculpt is around my mouth, especially around the mouth, I started getting clogged pores, little breakouts. So I had to discontinue use. And honestly, overall, looking at the price and the value and what you're getting in this component right here compared to RCMA, this is like the OG standard. If you want to do underpainting, just buy this. This has been a Hollywood iconic product for decades. You can highlight, foundation, sculpt. They have many different tones, many different palettes to choose from. This is in every makeup artist kit. This is the better way to go. And we have access now through Amazon to just order. You don't have to spend so much money on this right here that, yes, is trendy and new and at Sephora, but you're just not getting the right color selection. You're not getting as much product. These are not going on the skin the same way that RCMA does. If you wanted a budget version that I'm wearing today to underpaint, like wearing it on my forehead, my cheeks, nose, lips, Magic Shaper from Catrice, $8, done. So this was just a pass for so many reasons. The Sachu eyeshadow stay-in, no chunks. I like their lip products. I like their contour actually with like the little puffy top, but this right here, let me show you. What are we talking about here? What is that? That's nothing. It's nothing. We need a comparison so that you guys really understand. Similar product from MAC. This is the shade Not Scared to Sparkle. What do we see here? Actual reflection. This is MAC. Grabbing that light, sparkly, beautiful Sachu. Grabbing nothing. I expected more. Half Magic. I have been a big advocate of Half Magic makeup over the past year. In 2025, I discovered so much that I love from the brand. Tubing mascara that is phenomenal in every way. Their lip plumper, love so much. This one right here, this is the Lip Snuggle High Pigment Oil Balm. I can't stand the applicator on this. It's too fuzzy and The formulation of this is not the greatest, where like too much oil is separated in the actual component. The little oil bits spill out without the pigment, and there's not really a way to shake it or fix it. So I just wanted to share with you guys, as much as I am a lover of Half Magic, this was a product that I did not enjoy. Benefit. I have no words. I mean, I tried this. I know L'Oreal came out with like a 2-pronged version of this. I don't understand what we're doing here with these 3-tipped, like I get anxiety thinking about using it. It's just not for me. I have teeny tiny brows. So if you have more brows that have sparse areas that you want to realistically fill in, maybe. But I would just say go with something OG that's just that one thin felt tip where you can really be the artist and control where you're putting those strokes on to look like actual hairs. This just is a hazard where it's really easy to screw it up, so I'm not a fan. And that brings the negativity of 2025 with products to a close. You guys, I love doing these videos every year. I've been doing this from the dawn of my channel, and I look forward to kind of giving you the overview and the dish of the good, the bad, the ugly. So thank you for hanging out with me. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. And other than that, you guys go have a great one. Whatever you are doing, I love you, and I will see you guys in my next video. Mwah.